Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So today we came in, futures were a little bit weak. We weren't sure, would we get below this upper flag and stay below, or, would it be a pretty impressive move where we continue to digest right in front of big resistance. So after about 30 minutes, the spiders reclaimed that 209.18 spot. So hopefully if you had short on the brain, you at least covered there. Okay, and if you're looking to get long, some things worked better than others. And, in RAA, I tweeted I got long the spiders on that spot. I'm still long a little bit overnight. Tried a few things here and there. And it wasn't really an easy day. Definitely some divergences. You had tech a little weaker in the afternoon. Banks were great off the bat. That stronger economic number in the morning, helped. I feel like the market wants stronger numbers, not weaker numbers. So with stronger numbers, at least they know what the narrative is, which is buy the banks, tech should be okay. As long as oil doesn't fall apart, maybe we could continue to trend up. So anyway, let's go to the charts here. So this is a spot, guys. Here's your SPX. So if you recall, I posted two charts this morning. Okay, this was the only thing you knew. We only know a few things going into the day. What the prior low is and where the moving averages are. And basically, you had the SPX go below 2,088, as low as, 2,085, and reverse up. So literally, you could have been a buyer here, risk 3 handles, and made almost 11 handles. So risk 3, make 11. If you just held for the day and sold to close, okay, great job. If you take a third, on a RDR like this, to see if there's follow through, just take a third. So if tomorrow it's a trap, because there's a lot of bears out there saying it's a trap, there's no way it's going tomorrow, et cetera, then at least you have something booked. But all in all, still above the 8-day, going sideways. Here is your next point of reference, which is the, highs of 2016. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. The IWM, interesting enough, is already, there. The Russell, which was battered and bruised, is already above it. So we'll see if this is helping lead the way. Remember when we had the descending channel listed here? Ooh, that was nice. Or this red dog reversal right there. Well, it's been a nice trending move there, since. The bios also showed, some decent, action today where it was green all day. Remember when we listed this right here with this lower wedge, went to the upside? Well, now it held where it had to again, which we talked about in my morning note. And now the question is, can it continue up to bigger resistance, which is up here? So again, lots of things to look at pre-market, which is why I write them down on my note. I also talked about the banks. I said if the banks are any good, I wrote like 5 levels of 4 different stocks that would need to hold or be reclaimed. So if that was your focus, you probably did well today. JP Morgan did it, right? What do I mean? Oh, this is what I mean. You have an upper flag like in JP Morgan. It goes below, it comes back above it, and closes well. So that right there was a good strategy for the day if you took it. Now, we'll see if we can get any upward momentum, which is harder. So held the 8-day again, went below, the level, and then reclaimed it. If it would have stayed below and, been weak, it's a different story. Came back above it. Okay, Citigroup, I think, did the same thing. I talked about that in the morning call also. What a coinky dink if you trade groups. Went below, the level here and came back above it. But again, I don't know if we're going to get any power unless, I guess, if we get a strong jobs number on Friday or maybe ADP tomorrow, maybe there's better action. So today could have been buy the red dog reversal. Tomorrow could be add on a break above the flag resistance. We shall see. Then we also focused on high beta tech today. Could we see some gap fills? Would there be more follow-on weakness? It wasn't great. Facebook did give you a trade if you were perfect, but you really had to be perfect. It traded below this 118.12, okay, which we flagged also. Went as low as 172.82, and then was as high as 119. So there was a trade there, but it was slow. It's still acting lethargic. It's not near highs. It's kind of lagging. Maybe at some point it takes this out and continues. I know Sandberg is on TV talking, on CNBC. We'll see what that does. It's still holding sideways. It's just, needs big volume and time. It's a little over-owned, and there's not that many people short it, so the moves aren't so big. Amazon gave guys a quick little, negative to positive move. 2 different trades here today, depending on who you are. You had your first trade in the morning, okay, when you're going to go like to right here, move this to the side. Everyone knew that 724 was a 52-week high right there. So what happened? It opened lower, didn't make new lows when the market did, gave you a push to green, gave you a push through the prior high, and then basically wedged for the majority of the day and then failed. So some guys were looking for down 3 to up 3. Some might have said, ooh, I think this is a reversal waiting to happen. And then when the futures went in the afternoon, Amazon didn't. Usually Amazon likes to go when the futures go, and this did not make a new high, so it gave you some signals, and then it broke back below the prior high here of 724.23. That could have been your sell signal, and then just pretty much followed the 8 day and the 5 minute all the way down, and some people probably either sold their longs or got short, or maybe even short small overnight. I don't know. It's hard to short Amazon. But again, you do have, if it's just a chart, you have a bit of a topping tail, at highs. So you'll see if that leads to maybe a move to test the 8 day. Apple was weaker than it's been since the Buffett news. So it's not like it's falling apart, but Apple's allowed to pull in. And remember this last trend that broke to the downside. I'm not saying this happened yet, but this has been a nice long side bias ever since reclaiming this 92.50. And then you saw some commitment right here. Remember that, and now this upper flag just got negated. So we'll see what happens tomorrow if maybe there's a move to here. I'd love to see a move to maybe the 21 day, and then it goes lower and then create some kind of red dog reversal here, and then you see whether or not it can continue. But all in all, we'll see the 8 day, which has been support since that news gets negated or it stays support. So short term though, closing on the lows when the market was trying to be strong, I would not be long this overnight. And if anything, this would be a hedge short if you have other longs, just in case. Oil, you have the OPEC tomorrow, had a decent rally. Let's just take a look. That's what helped the S&P also. If you look here, what did we talk about this morning? You can maybe get some downside in oil, but the 21 day is not a place to press. And you know what? The 21 day held for now. It's been holding during this entire trend, so better to stay with the trend. If you got short on this topping tail yesterday, you got paid, but you had to be quick. If you said, I'm not in this because of this topping tail, I'm getting out when it broke back below this 11.99, you had the luxury of buying it into 11.55. And now we'll see what's next. That's how you use these pivots to your advantage. That's how you use these topping tail, bottom tails, or just even these patterns, depending on how quick and active you are. BABA, didn't trade it once. What a friggin' horrendous stock. I'm sorry. The way it surprises traders and bags them, it's crazy. This is crazy to me. Last time I had, last week it was I had my full position, ready to rock and roll, thinking that this is it. It's going to go. Finally, the old red dog wouldn't be trading it anymore, but the new red dog is going to take it with the volume and go. And then that happened. That's when I said, I am done with this. Then I think a lot of people are like, you know what, I'm going to start shorting in here. There's no way it's coming back. And then boom. And then boom. Oh my goodness, now I better cover these shorts because it's closing on highs. Maybe everyone's trapped and it's going back to 85, and then that happens. Another trap. So the moral of the story is don't trade stocks that don't have continuity, can trap you any which way that has huge headlines. So hopefully, if you weren't involved, and I am not touching this stock no matter how many people bring it to my attention ever again. Maybe ever is a long time, we shall see. And gold, let's just go over gold before I end. Gold is at the bottom of the range. Some people are thinking that, they're giving it a try down here. Okay, little bottom tails, holding above the 200 day. If you sold your GLDs when it lost the 8 and 21 day right here below 121.50, you have the luxury of testing this spot, even if it's just for a bounce. But just remember, this bounce was sold, this bounce was sold. So if you're playing it for a bounce, you better have quick feet just in case, it doesn't happen. Plus, you have to take a lot of risk overnight because gold trades mostly overnight versus intraday. So you can look at the miners, the same thing. So all in all, we're still hovering near resistance. There's lots of opinions out there right now. Are we going to break out and go and be real? Are we going to get bagged and come back in and there's no reason why we're rallying? Which are a lot of opinions. For today, all we knew was we had yesterday's low. Would the sellers have enough power to keep us below it and extend it down? They didn't. You had to cover there. Even if you covered there and shorted on the close because you think something's going to happen overnight, that's going to crush the market, which is not the right way to think. Great. But also, today, there were things to do, and it was very slow. But it's the market we're in. Get used to it. It's the summertime. It could get a lot slower. Have a good night.